Your calendar is full of other people's priorities, meetings, favors, obligations, and because of that, your own life is barely moving. You get to the end of the week and realize something very ugly. You were busy every day, but you did not move your own life forward. Not your health, not your calling, not your home, not the thing that you know you need to build. And the dangerous part is this: you start calling that responsibility, you start calling that adulthood, you start calling it life. You start telling yourself this is just how it is, but it's not. Here's my promise for you tonight. By the end of this session, you're going to be able to say, I see why my week keeps getting stolen. I see what my calendar is costing me, that full calendar. I know the first move I need to make so I can take my life back. If this is already speaking to you, smash that like button. Shout out to everyone that's on. I see you, Sir Asaph. I see you, Sis Atara. Smash that like button. As soon as you come in, y'all know what to do. Smash that like button. We talking about it today, guys. Your calendar is full, but nothing is changing. Now, let's get into it. This is for men who are dependable. Are you a dependable man? This is for the man who people call on first whenever they need something. The man who hates letting people down. The man who can carry a lot of weight and responsibility. But because he can carry a lot, everybody keeps handing him more. And now his own life keeps getting the leftovers. If that's the season you're in, type full in the comments. And shout out to Sir Yasharala for the $10 super chat. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. Thank you for supporting the work. Again, if you're just coming in, let's get the likes up. I'm looking at the comments. I'm looking at y'all joining. Let's get these likes up, y'all. Your calendar is full, but nothing is changing. Shout out to Brother Frederick for the $10 super chat. Now, again, I want to run this back. Who is this for? This is for the man who's dependable, the man who people call on whenever they need something. That's you. The man who hates letting other people down. You feel guilty. You're the type of man that carries a lot of weight, carries responsibility, and because you can carry the weight so well, everybody hands you more. You're the go to guy. But now your own life gets the leftovers. Your dream is on the back burner while you're pushing everybody else forward. That really weighs on us as men. And if that's the season that you're in, I want you to type full in the comments. But now let's get to work, okay? Because we're talking about it. We're talking about it today, guys. My calendar is full of other people's priorities. I want us to understand what is the outcome. We're going to take life's problems and we're going to start with the order process. This is the outcome. By the end of this session, you will know how to guard one part of your week so your life moves forward every single week, not just when people leave you alone. Listen, guys, I'm not trying to turn you into a rude man. I'm not trying to make you careless. I'm not trying to make you unavailable to your family and friends. I'm not trying to make you irresponsible at work. I'm trying to make sure your life does not disappear under other people's needs. Because this is what happens. A man says yes all week to every request. He helps all week. He attends every meeting and every appointment all week long. He responds all week to every message. And then he looks up and says, why am I still in the same spot. That's not because he doesn't care, it's because he has not guarded any part of his week. Guys, I want you to know something. An unguarded week gets taken every time. I just want you to think about that for a second. If you want your week to start producing personal progress again, type yes in the comments. Is this you on the screen? You're always answering, never building. You're booked all day with meetings and other appointments, but your life is not making any personal progress. Why does that happen, guys? What is the root of the problem? The root of the problem is you have an open week. Your week is open, guys. It's open to requests. It's open to meetings. It's open to other people dropping their things on you. It's open to guilt. All of these things pop up and everything seems like an emergency. And when your week is open, that's when stronger voices take over your week. Not better voices, not wiser voices, just louder voices. See, in an open week, you have no guarded blocks of time. You put work meetings on the calendar, you put family things on the calendar, you put errands on the calendar. You put what other people asked of you on the calendar, but you do not put your own progress on the calendar. So what happens? Your week is full of duty, but there's no time for building. And here's what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, you know what? Well, I will get to my thing whenever I find time. I had a busy day. I guess I'll get to my dream tonight. I'll handle everybody else's problems first, and then I'll get to my own. Sounds noble, but here's what that keeps costing you. Number one, it keeps things in a state of failure when it comes to managing your week. Why? Because the best hours go to maintenance. The best of your week is just maintaining your life at best. When it comes to your goals, the things that would move you forward in life, you save that for your tired time. And whenever that happens, guys, you lose peace because you know you're neglecting things that matter. Guys, if nothing changes and you keep living like this, what happens? Another week goes by, then another month. You stay useful to everybody else, but your own life stays stuck in the same place. This is how good men become bitter. Not because they hate serving, but because they never guarded any time for their own assignment. They have no maker time. That means you got time to answer messages, time to attend meetings, time to talk to people on the phone, but no real block of time where you can make something. No block where you can think, build, write, plan, prepare, solve, or finish something. You have no maker time. So what are you doing? You spend your day bouncing around in meetings, bouncing through messages, bouncing through favors, bouncing from one tiny task to the next. You bounce around everything under the sun, except for the fact that you finish almost nothing that matters to your own future. Now, guys, I know for some of y'all, this might be a hard pill to swallow, but this is life. If we don't get a handle on this, it's going to come to our demise. Shout out to Elder Yakin. I see you on tuning in from Austin. Shout out to my brother Frederick from Florida. I see Detroit is in the house. I see you, brother Dino. I see you, sir, Yasharala. I see you telling them to smash that like button. Listen, this is what it's all about. Notice what Elder Yakin said, y'all. You got to be very intentional in looking out for yourself. Because if you never take the time to work on you, how can you be an asset to anyone else? Listen, guys, one of the reasons why you might be a liability to other people is because you're not spending enough time getting yourself together. You're so busy thinking about everyone else, you don't have time to get your own life together. And because your own life isn't together, it comes as harm to everyone else around you. Why? Because there's no maker time. See, if you have no maker time, but your calendar is always so busy, just like this, do you know what you might be thinking? Man, I'm being productive because I'm active. This guy, he is so productive in his mind. Look at his very productive calendar. Look at his busy life. See, this guy, he's so overwhelmed. He tells himself, I handled a lot today. I had the weight of the world on my shoulders. I stayed on top of things. Good for me. But no, you weren't really on top of things. You stayed busy. That is not the same as being productive and moving forward, guys. Here's what that kind of mentality of busy means good costs you. When you think that you should be busy but not productive, moving your life forward, your brain never settles. Your best ideas never get room to grow because you're taking on all of these smaller things. Important work keeps getting pushed to later. And by the time the evening comes, you're way too drained to do any deep work well. Guys, the work that matters the most in your life, that's going to require a lot of focus. So if you're constantly busy being busy, the actual projects that could take your life to the next level, you'll never get around to because that requires you to free up time for you to have maker time. But what happens if nothing changes? You become a man who's always available for small things, but never available for major things. That's a painful life because big things change your future. Small things just fill your day. Maybe you have no hard boundaries. I want y'all to look at this man on the screen. See, this man, he's got a lot going on. He's got his laptop in front of him, his phone out. He's taking notes, eating dinner all at the same time. This is a man who's very busy, but he has no hard boundaries. And it always looks like he's moving forward, but because he's so overwhelmed, he's not really productive. This is where a lot of good men get exposed. Here, you don't just have a time problem, you have a line problem. You don't have a hard line around your best hours. So here's what you do. You say yes too fast. You let people just grab a few minutes of your time. You let meetings land anywhere on your calendar and you pick up calls because you don't want to seem too difficult and say no. So you pick up. You agree to helping people before checking what that help will cost your week. And as you're going through this, what are you thinking? I can make it work. It won't take that long. I don't want to let them down. I'll just figure out my stuff later. I'll work really hard to make up the lost time. But does that really happen? What does having this train of thought cost you guys? Have you ever been through this? leave me a comment. Let me know if you could relate to what I'm saying right now. This is so many of us. See, this is one of the biggest challenges on the road to success. The more successful you are, the more you'll be in demand. Ironically, it was your ability to not respond to anyone and focus on your most important tasks that got you successful. When nobody knew who you were and you had the luxury of focus, that's how you became successful. When no one was constantly bothering you and they were checking for other people, that's when you had the time to build the business, to write the book, to get the better job. But then over time, you started gaining status. You started having other people recognize all of your talents. So what happened? The more people came to know you and celebrate you for all of your wins, the harder it was to find the time that got you to success in the first place. And that's the reason why we must understand it's not just about getting to success, but keeping it. I've watched a lot of guys accomplish great things, but they can't hold on to it. Getting it is one thing, maintaining it is another. A lot of times, our mindset is not ready for the success that we seek. That's why, as we go through these sessions, guys, I always tell you, hey, this is the mindset that brings disorder into our life. And if we don't change that mindset, here's what it costs. When you go through your life having an open week, right? Open week, when you have a schedule that's out of control, no maker time, no hard boundaries, what does that cost you? You train people to expect full access to you, and you train yourself to break the promises that you made to yourself. Guys, this is so important. I cannot state it hard enough. The things that you do in your day-to-day life, it trains yourself and others. When you leave your week wide open with no maker time, with no hard boundaries, you train other people to expect you 24/7 because you'll just allow them to do it. You'll just add it on as another meeting on your calendar. You'll respond very instantly. You'll try to make it all fit together, but you're not just training them to depend on you around the clock. You're training yourself not to trust you. You're training your subconscious mind. Everything and everybody else is important, not me. Everybody else's issue, everybody else's meeting, my stuff, my priorities, my dream. Oh, you know what? That's to the back burner. Everybody else's life is on your calendar except your own. But the problem is, it's your life. The problem is, it's your calendar. And you're so busy, caught up in this rat race, you don't even see what's happening. It's happening at a very deep subconscious level. You train yourself to break promises to you. Because for every time that you sacrifice you to do something else that doesn't move your life forward, the more that your mind believes that you're not the winner in your own life. The more that your mind is programmed to believe that you're not the hero in your own movie. You're not the main character in your own movie. Your boss is the main character. Someone who constantly pulls on your time, that's the main character. And whenever you go through this, guys, whether you know it or not, you start to lose respect for yourself. We don't always say this to ourselves out loud, but this is what happens at a subconscious level. And at home, your family gets a man who's already been used up by the world. He's already drained. He has nothing else left to give. So, guys, if nothing changes, if you keep going through this lifestyle on autopilot, what happens? You'll keep getting your time booked full. You'll keep getting drained. You'll keep convincing yourself this is just how life is supposed to be. And you keep staying behind in your own life. This is what makes it so dangerous, y'all. Nobody ever comes up to you and says, this is how you're supposed to do it. They don't teach you this in school. Some of the busiest people we knew growing up were struggling. We're starving. We're in poverty. Why? Because no one ever taught us this. We thought we're supposed to be busy all the time. That's just what successful people do. We thought we're supposed to be figuring out everybody else's problems, solving everybody else's problems, not making any time to solve our own. And then we wonder, man, how does someone actually get ahead in society? How do I prosper in life? Clearly, it's not just working hard, because I've been working hard as long as I can remember, but I still feel stuck in the same place. This is why when you hold on to having an open week with no boundaries, no hard line, you will wonder why you feel so much pressure all the time. Because pressure grows when your life has no hard lines. Pressure grows when your life has no boundaries, guys. I need y'all to listen to me carefully. A full calendar does not prove that your week is important. A full calendar might only prove that your week is open. That's the hard truth. I'm going to run that back because this is arguably the critical lesson in tonight's session. I'm going to show you how to solve this problem, but I need you to understand this critical point. So many people base the importance of their life by how full their calendar is. Some people believe the more full their calendar is, the better life they're living. It makes them feel important. It makes them feel high and mighty. But this is the reason why it's hard for you to get ahead. A full calendar does not prove your week is important, because it's not about the quantity of time, it's about the quality of time. If you have a calendar that's full of BS, that's not moving you forward. If you have a calendar full of meetings that are not actually productive to your life, then what's the point? A full calendar does not prove that your week is important. A full calendar might only prove that your week is open. Now, I need you to sit with that, because I know what you're thinking. Uzziah, that sounds like an oxymoron. How can you tell me I have a full calendar, but my week is open? The reason why a full calendar proves that your week is open is because your open minded mentality to taking on every meeting request, every appointment, every phone call, every favor, that's what filled your calendar in the first place. It was not the endeavor of your own dream. Let's keep it a buck, y'all. Is your entire week's calendar full of nothing but build the business I said I want to build, reach the goal I said I want to reach? No, it's full of other responsibilities. So the full calendar is just proof of how open your week actually is. If your week was less open, your calendar wouldn't be as full, because you would have denied some of those different distractions to come your way. Guys, the minute that you understand that, you will understand a hard truth, but it's also a freeing truth. Why? Because now you can finally see the problem. And once you can see the problem, you can change it. So, guys, I want to ask you, what steals your week the most? Is it meetings? Is it favors? Is it phone? You being on the phone all the time? Or is it you drifting? Guys, I'm going to run a poll right now. We're going to get down to it. Okay. The poll is out there. What steals your week the most? Vote in the poll so that I know exactly how I can help you tonight. While y'all are voting, I'm going to take a minute to review the comments. First off, shout out to my sister, Atara, for the $20 super sticker. Thank you for supporting the work. Shout out to my sister, A Diamond. Yeah, so good to see you on, my sister. Support for the best success strategist ever. Now, y'all may not know this, and I hope A Diamond is on, but A Diamond and I, we've worked together throughout the years, and she has accomplished some amazing results. I want you to let the people know, A Diamond, about some of the things that you've been able to accomplish professionally and personally, from the time that you and I started working together. We started working together years ago. And she's even sat down with me on one-on-one consultations, gone through some of my self-improvement plans, and she has made a world of progress. Don't be too shy, A Diamond. Let them know in the comments about all of the things that you've been able to accomplish, because I want everyone to understand these sessions have the power to change your life as long as you apply the steps. It's not just about you hearing it, it's about you doing it. All right, y'all, we're going to look at this poll. So right now, I'm seeing that meetings steals the majority of the people's week. Right now, meetings is winning at 43%. Second is drifting. Then it's phone. And then it's favors. Wow. Meetings is really getting the most of your time. So this is very good, guys, because I want to talk to some of y'all live tonight and put together a plan on how you can work through that. I know a lot of you guys are feeling like, oh man, you know what? There's no way I can get out of these meetings. I'm going to be stuck. I can't get ahead. I've got a plan for you tonight. Now, A Diamond Ya says, I'm so shy, but for you, of course, anything. Thank you, my sister. And please don't be too shy. I'm not saying get on camera to tell the people. I'm saying just put it in the chat, and then I can look at it and the people can talk about it. That's all. So it's very important, A Diamond, as well, because a lot of people are watching for the very first time, and they're wondering, like, how important is this? The information that Uzziah is giving, how does it help? How does it really move your life forward? And you would be a great example. So make sure you leave a comment about that, my sister. Take your time. But we're going to talk today about why your calendar is full and nothing is changing. Shout out to my brother Ng. I see you in the house. That's a man of order right there. All right. He says, yes, meetings at work take up way too much time. Then after all the discussions, it's overtime to do what we spent hours discussing. Absolutely. And that's the reason why we got to get a handle on that, because for most people, they just do the talking part. The doing after the meetings rarely happens. And so if this root problem exposed your week, I want y'all to smash that like button, okay? Because now we're about to go into doctrine. What is doctrine, y'all? On every Men of Order session, I always give you the laws of order. Order is governed by laws. This is what you have to understand. This is the one law of order for tonight. What is not guarded will be taken. What is not guarded will be taken. Let me make that plain for you. If you do not guard part of your week, somebody else will fill it. Not because people are evil, but because open space gets claimed. That's how life works. Scientists knows whatever open spaces are in this world, it's going to be filled by something. Filled by air, filled by gas, filled by people, filled by land. Open space gets claimed. So a man with no guarded time says yes to things by default. He lets meetings drop anywhere. He lets people reach into his day whenever they want. He keeps hoping that he can squeeze his own progress in later. And this is what he does. He's thinking, I just need to get through the week. He's thinking, once things calm down, then I'll get back to my stuff. He's thinking, you know what? It's all good. This is just a busy season for me. But I need y'all to know something. The more responsible you become, the busier your life gets and stays. Sometimes you convince yourself that you're going through a busy season just because you've taken on a new opportunity, not knowing that this is just how your life is going to look at this level of the game. So if you have not figured out a new strategy, you're not going to be able to sustain the success that you've built. You know, I know Angie can feel me whenever I'm talking about this. As a man of order, he has different responsibilities, different leadership positions. He's very competent at his job. He's very competent within the church. He's very competent at home, providing for his family. So the more competence that you show the world, the more you're going to have to strategize just to hold on to the success that you work so hard to build. See, one of the biggest things that we never think about is we spend so much of our lives just trying to get somewhere and achieve the success. But we never think about, well, how am I supposed to act once I have it? You know, imagine you spend your life trying to be an actor and then you finally get a big role. Okay, well, now you're going to have to dedicate the next several months being on set. Now your schedule might look totally different. Now you might be in a totally new environment. The time that you need to be on set might have been different than the time that you were preparing and rehearsing to be a great actor. We spend so much of our lives hoping that we can work hard and get to success that once the success actually comes, we don't know what to do with it. And that's why it's so easy to lose. I want to go back to these comments that A Diamond Ya brought up. This was about her working with me in times past. She said, I've advanced from worker bee to management staff in my 9 to 5. I was able to get my biggest downfall, time management, under control, improved credit score, even deeper and more successful faith walk. Thank you for sharing that, A Diamond, because a lot of times when people watch these sessions, they think, oh, this is just about how to do better at work. No, it's not. Everything that I'm showing you guys, you can take it and plug it in to any facet of your life. You can plug this into your time, the way that you manage your time. You can plug this into how you manage your money. You can plug this into your career, the business you want to start, how you manage your house. So many different things. And notice what A Diamond said. She said, just to name a few things, that's not even all. Yes, she's still being very modest. And so, again, I always tell you guys, stick through it. Stick through it. Trust the process, and the results will come over time. Look at what NG said. Yes, sir. Your wisdom and perception is almost clairvoyant. Hey, I can't take no credit, brother. It's all God given. So today we're talking about your calendar is full, but nothing is changing. If you're just thinking that you can take on the world, say yes to any request, and you're just going to fill it all in your busy schedule, what does that cost you? Guys, that mindset costs you living a life that's always in reaction mode. This is where your own growth slows down. This is when your mind stays crowded because it's full of so many different responsibilities. And before you know it, you start feeling trapped inside of a life that you're managing. And if nothing changes, guys, what happens? You'll take on more duty. As a result, there's going to be more delay of your dream. There's going to be more drifting throughout your day. And what does that all boil down to? More disappointment. Now, let me tell you what an ordered man does instead, because the mindset that I broke down, that's very common for disordered men. Disordered men, they don't understand how precious time is, so they think they can do it all. Maybe their ego is telling them that they're a hard enough worker, a strong enough man to where they can do it all. Here's what an ordered man does. An ordered man guards first. He doesn't wait to see what the week does to him. He decides ahead of time what part of his week belongs to his best work. And then he protects it. Guys, an ordered man understands something simple. A man who does not guard his life will only manage the leftovers of his life. Remember what I told you earlier. What is not guarded will be taken. Now, I want you to ask yourself this question. What part of my week is actually protected from other people? Not hoped for, protected. If the answer is nothing, then that's the problem. That's why your life is not moving forward. And guys, let me go one step deeper with this spiritually. Spiritually, some men make this mistake. They pray for more strength to carry a week that should have been guarded better. You take on all of these unnecessary tasks. You put too much on your plate, and then you go to God and pray for the strength to carry the ridiculous plate that you filled. Instead of praying for the strength to carry the week full of things that are not actually going to push you forward, pray for the wisdom to guard better. You have to be a better guardian of your time. Listen, prayer matters, but prayer doesn't replace a guarded week. You still have to make a decision. You still have to put a line around something. You still have to stop handing your best hours away. If you see that clearly, type I see it in the comments, because now we execute. Now I'm going to give you a simple way to run your week. This is called the Guarded Week Plan. 3 steps, and that's it. Step number 1, name your one progress block. I want you to pick one block of time this week, just one, not 5. not a perfect brand new life, one block of time, 90 minutes if you can, 60 minutes if that's all you have. And this block is going to be for your own progress, not errands, not email, not helping somebody real quick, not catching up on a million random things. This block is for building. Name one progress block. Here's how you do this. You put one block on your calendar for the thing that would move your life forward, your business, your plan, your health, your study, your home leadership, whatever your next move is. When you put this progress block on your calendar, it replaces you living in the vague. You just going through your life with vague hope. Everybody else is putting time on your calendar, but you're not putting time on your own calendar for life. So you're just hoping, hopefully one day I can get around to greatness. Hopefully one day I can get around to starting that business I've been wanting to start. It replaces I'll get to it mentality. Now you stop procrastinating and you start making the dream your reality. It replaces going through a week where you're not enjoying your own time. And what does it change, guys? For the first time in a long time, your calendar will show proof that your own life matters too. For the first time in a long time, now you're giving your life priority. So, guys, I got a question for you, and I want you to let me know this in the chat. When is your time block going to be? Is it going to be in the morning? Is it going to be at lunch? Is it going to be in the evening time? When is going to be your progress block to push your life forward? Step number 2, I want you to build a hard line around it. I want you to protect the block of time that you just set with a hard line. This is where men usually fail. Okay, they put a block of time on the calendar, but they still leave the door open for distraction. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to decide now, right now, what you're going to say no to during your progress block. We've already done step 1. Step 2 is now putting boundaries around it. No extra meetings go into your progress block. No phone calls go into your progress block. No quick favors in your progress block. No checking text messages, no checking social media, no helping others just because you feel guilty. I want to say this again. A hard line is not you being rude. A hard line is you loving yourself. Love yourself enough to say, I'm not available at that time. That is all. What does this replace? It replaces weak yeses to things that you don't want to do. It replaces you making decisions just because you feel guilty. It replaces the habit of you breaking your own word. And the way this changes your week is you stop teaching people that your time is always open. You stop teaching yourself that your work comes last. Here's step 3, guys. Put your next day in order the night before. Every night for 7 days, you're going to do a 5-minute setup. 5 minutes. That's all. You're going to look at tomorrow and you're going to find the pressure early. You're going to see, where do I have a lot going on during the day? What block of time is the busiest? And then you're going to find where you can put your progress block. And I want you to write the one thing that you must move in that block. What is it going to be, guys? What are you going to do during that block of time? And I want you to ask, what will try to steal this tomorrow? What's going to get in the way of you focusing during that progress block? Write it down. Think about it. Ask yourself the question. That question matters. So that way, tomorrow, when it's time to execute, you're not waking up confused. Instead, you're waking up ready. What does that replace? It replaces you getting in the morning scrambling. Now you're in reaction mode. It replaces letting your phone decide how your day should start. It replaces the fake surprise of, oh my God, I never thought my life would get so busy today, when you knew things would come up, could come up, but you did not guard your time. Guys, I know things are always going to happen in life. So I've got to guard my time effectively. That's what you've got to do. If I'm going to successfully lead a business, lead a church, lead my house, lead myself, I've got to guard my time effectively. You know why? Because for any of my areas of leadership, if I don't guard it, that will take up my time completely. If I don't guard the way that I lead my church, I could spend my entire life on church stuff. For my folks in the church right now that's watching this, you already know what I'm talking about because it probably relates to you too. If you don't put up certain boundaries to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to do this for the church, but at this time, I got to do this, your entire space can get filled. You have to do this, guys, especially if you're trying to have leadership in multiple areas. What is it going to replace? It's going to replace you constantly letting other things take control of your life and you going through life in a daze. What's going to change is you start your day with a line that's already drawn. And because you've already drawn that line, it makes it easier for you to navigate the success of your life. It makes it easier for you to keep the commitments that matters most. So guys, I want to tighten this up for you right now. You're going to name one progress block. You're going to build a hard line around it. You're going to set up the night before. You're going to set up your tomorrow tonight. That's how a busy man becomes a productive man, not by doing everything, but by guarding something. All right, y'all. So listen, man, I've been giving y'all the game for long enough. And now it is time to cam up. I'm putting the link in the comments and on the screen. If you want me to sit down with you and I can give you a free walkthrough of how to re-strategize your calendar so that way you're able to double your progress, make sure that you click the link. I've put the link in the comments and I put the link on the screen. Okay. Whenever you join, make sure that you have your camera on, sit somewhere quiet, and let's get ready to hop into it. Okay. I'm definitely wanting to speak with some of y'all tonight. And so if you got a lot of value from this session, please do super chat, guys. That helps to keep this channel going. It helps to keep this platform running. All of the support that you give helps the live sessions continue. Okay. Now, I also want to take this time to answer some questions that you have. You know, we just talked about you planning your next move. I want y'all to get on camera so that I can help you do that. But I also want to answer any questions that you may have. Let's say that you're not able to get on camera with me tonight, but you still have specific questions that need answers. So what I want you to do is I want you to type your questions in the chat. and I will answer the first few questions that I see about this topic. Let me know, okay? Leave me a comment and I will get to your questions as soon as I see them. All right. So let me look at some of these comments real quick before we move on to the next part of tonight's session. So, Brother Aaron says, very true. Must be proactive with time. Yes. And that's why you got to guard your time up front. A Diamond Yah says, this is my current issue. I'm so fearful to now transition from the tremendous amount of time poured into my two jobs and managing my home, but not to transitioning to work in my own business. A Diamond, I want to talk to you more about that. Okay. I would love it if you could cam up. This cam is open for both men and women. But if for whatever reason you can't cam up with me, A Diamond, then I would love for us to be able to work through it even in the comments section. You said you're fearful to now transition from the tremendous amount of time poured into your two jobs and managing your home, but not to transitioning to work in your own business. Okay, so the first thing that you should do is this. You should take away the pressure that you're putting into starting a business. If there is fear around you starting a business, I think it's important to figure out why. Listen, you've already showed your competence. You've done that by working two jobs. So if you know that you have the hard work and the dedication to hold down two jobs and manage your home effectively, there might be another reason why it's hard for you to get started on the business. Why is it hard to get started on the business, A Diamond? Is it because you feel like it'll be too overwhelming? You think, okay, I've got these two jobs and I've got to be able to work on a business. See, this is the reason why you implementing that block of time that I just went over is going to be so important for you. Because sometimes people, they psych themselves out and they say, well, because I got all of this going, surely I have no time to work on, this very next thing that would actually push my life forward. But isn't it so funny? We make time for our maintenance tasks, but then when it comes to our progress tasks, we think that there is no time. What I want you to do is this. I want you to look at your calendar for the week. And I want you to examine how much of your time is going towards maintenance and how much of your time is going towards progress. I want you to start shrinking how much time you're putting towards maintenance tasks. I want you to start identifying what things you're manually doing that you could either automate or delegate. Very big opportunity now in this digital world, guys. Okay. We could be leveraging AI to do a lot of the things that we used to do ourselves, automate. And then for anything that we can't automate, we need to start delegating. My guess is if you're working two jobs, you probably have a little disposable income that you could put towards hiring virtual assistants. At any given time, I have at least 4 to 5 virtual assistants uh, pushing things forward. That's on top of having a house manager. That's on top of being able to have other people that I work with in person to help my life build. And so right now, A Diamond, I'm thinking that really the fear of it all is just getting in your way. All right. And I'm seeing some guys on camera, and I'm about to get to y'all in just a second. Uh, I'm seeing a question from Yakiden. Shout out to brother Yakiden. He asks, how can I effectively keep my scheduling from overlapping from running a cleaning business, being in college, and pushing towards laboring within my church? Absolutely. So, the first thing that you need to do is you need to identify what your calendar system is going to be. I always recommend that you use Google Calendar because it stays with you wherever you go. Since we're living in a digital world, you can have the Google Calendar app on your phone and you can check it whenever you need to. Now, one thing that I recommend specifically in your case, Brother Yakiden, is having themed days. Some days make that business day. Even if you work in your business from Monday to Friday, some days in your business should be prioritized for the business. Some days in your week, it should be prioritized for college. Some days within your week should be prioritized for the church, right? So to just simulate Monday, business, two, church, Wednesday, college, Thursday, business, Friday, college, Saturday, church, Sunday, planning. I'm not saying that that's what the theme of each day is going to be, but what I'm saying is probably we need to break down your week into chunks so that way we can focus strictly on one specific area per day. What happens to a lot of driven men is you're trying to do everything all in one day, and that slows your productivity down because your brain is constantly switching. It would be very difficult for me to be in business mode, church mode, family mode, all in once. You have to give different days different themes. And if you want to talk about this further, feel free to cam up. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the camera. All right. I'm going to open up the floor for y'all to be with me in conversation. I'm gonna put the link out there one more time because we're about to hop into it. Okay. Be on this link, cam up, be in a quiet spot, have YouTube off in the background so that way there will be no echo whenever you join. And with no further ado, my brother Izrahiah is on. It's good to see you, sir.
Likewise, it's good to see you as well, sir. I just wanted to, before we discuss anything, just say how much I really appreciate you taking the time to really go over this time, this kind of topic with us. I understand that your time is very valuable, so it definitely means a lot that you're doing this for us. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, sir. I know that your time is very valuable as well. So let's hop into it. With no further ado, if you wouldn't mind letting the people know your name and where you're calling from.
Yes, yes. So, my name is Uzziah Israel. I am calling from San Diego, California.
Oh, shout out, shout out, shout out. My home state. Shout out to Cali. We've got Izrahiah in the house. Izrahiah, in one sentence, sir, what does it look like when other people's priorities take over your week?
Uh, it's very chaotic. It's messy. It's frustrating when I have these moments of clarity and I step back and see exactly how much time I invest in somebody else's dreams and endeavors versus what I could be doing for myself, my household, for the church. So yeah, it's frustrating.
Absolutely, man. I bet that it is. So let me ask you, like, what are you most tired of carrying when it comes to the stress of all of that? Like, how do you get pulled on the most? Is it things at the job? Is it, your phone is constantly going off? Like, how do you get pulled the most? And maybe tell me about an area where okay, I kind of need to get this area in check.
Right. So I get pulled the most, well, one with my job. I am a salary employee, so I'm usually one of the first people that they call whenever something is wrong. And part of the reason that is because we used to be a standalone operation. Uh, Part of what I do is I do retail credit control for an Australian footwear company. Um, And when we downsized our Solana office, one benefit is that I got to work remote, but then I'm the only person from our office that made it through the transition. So I'm the only one on our payroll that knows the system that this Australian company is using. So whenever there is a problem with it, I'm the first one that is, called up to investigate what's going on with the system. And because we've had a number of years, or I should say, I've had a number of years working with some of our retail partners, our collections agencies, our legal teams. I'm usually roped into different departments that were traditionally not something I was really involved with. But because of that history, it's like, okay, well, you know these people, they know you. We need you on these meetings, and we need you to communicate this to them in the way that you know that they'll best receive it.
Right.
And then also because my main account is an Australian-based partner, there's also these discrepancies with the time differences. So while I may be working here in the U.S. from like let's say traditionally 8 to 5, our Australian partners are 17 hours ahead of us. So when their day begins, my day is just about ending. And then when they're ready to hop on a meeting, it's like, all right, well, now it's the overtime side of things to hop on these meetings with our Australian partners. And sometimes those meetings can be a few hours. And then before I know it, it's like, all right, well, it's 8 p.m. my time. There goes my entire day. Um, I will say I've been doing a lot better, just kind of with your advice, with these different classes and workshops. I've been doing better at just kind of telling people no. Like I understand that we need to have our meetings with our Australian partners and whatnot, um, but also I can't be every day working, sometimes from like 7 in the morning to 7 p.m. and then get on meetings afterward. And then, okay, now, time to go to sleep and do it all over again. Like I do have to have some time to separate. And one of the challenges that I do see here is with the high holy days. It's just kind of like, oh, well, it's one of these things that's kind of implied without being directly said, that because they are so flexible with my high holy days, they kind of have this expectation of me to almost dedicate all this extra time. But again, I've been more vocal about saying, you know what, guys, like, look, I've been at it since 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning. Here's where we're going to draw the line. If it's anything urgent, then we can 100% pick this back up tomorrow. We can carve out some more time here. Instead of me staying up really late on my end to hop on these meetings, maybe some of our key players in Australia can hop on earlier. We can kind of meet in the middle. And thankfully, our Australian partners seem to be more receptive than what my job had originally thought it would be. But yeah, still, it's just one of those things that's anytime I have to put my foot down to say no, I can tell it ruffles a few feathers.
Absolutely. It happens. Now, if I could just hop in, um, I want to ask you a question, but first, I want to tell everybody that's on to smash the like button. All right. If you have not yet done so, please make sure that you smash that like button, guys, because this is some very important information that we're about to go over. Whenever I have these camera sessions and I bring on a live guest, it's never just for that person. The lessons, they're all for us to be able to move forward in a very productive way. So with that being said, Israel, let me ask you, what would you like really to get from this conversation? What are you hoping changes after this conversation that you and I have?
um, well, I guess, well, definitely the motivation. Sometimes, just kind of being out in San Diego, we don't really have people that we can really discuss these types of things with. I mean, it's not like we're alone out here, but to really have these kind of deeper conversations with, people that of perception, it's not really something that we have here. So just even talking about it really helps. But also just to kind of, I guess, have a better idea of what I can do to, improve on managing my time. Um, I can recognize and acknowledge that part of the issue is me, that I tend to do and take on more than, probably what is realistic in a day. So aside from my job, I also do personal training. I train myself. I also do work for the church, and I'm also trying to um, get this bookkeeping venture that I've been working behind the scenes on off the ground.
Nice.
Um, so, realistically, it's probably a lot that I'm doing. And I can acknowledge that. But just kind of hearing what you've mentioned to Brother Yakiden, maybe taking one day to prioritize one effort is probably what I need to consider doing instead of trying to squeeze everything into a 24-hour day. So yes, just, a little bit more clarity on that will definitely help me.
Absolutely, man. So it sounds like you got a lot of things going in different areas, and you really just want to navigate it as smoothly as possible, right? Because we know, the more commitments that you take on in different areas of life, if you don't get a handle on it, it can really stress you out. And so let's talk about that. So, walk me through what your calendar looks like. First off, what tool do you use to manage your weekly calendar?
I usually use Excel, and I have Outlook. So Outlook I really use for like my personal training and for bookkeeping, and then Excel is just kind of what I use as kind of like a centralized tool to visually see everything that I have going on. Um, but aside from that, not really anything else.
Okay, I like where we're going so far. All right, so you use Excel. Tell me what is on Excel. How do you list your day?
I usually list it by well, not by, it's not as organized like by the hour or anything, but it is really by you just kind of like what I have planned for that day. So any bigger projects, or time sensitive tasks that I want to take on, I just kind of have those things laid out in the order of priority. And then as my day goes along, I just kind of figure out, okay, well, I have an hour here that I didn't really see or plan on having, right? I may have already, like, let's say I go into work, I plan to go in from 7 to 5. And let's say for that day, I may have planned to work on my bookkeeping business for an hour. But I ended up getting off early from work. So there goes an extra hour that I can kind of like maneuver. And I may say, okay, well, I originally planned to do an hour of bookkeeping, but I actually have 2 hours. And then I may take a look at something that may carry, well, what I considered to carry more priority. So it could be maybe a project for the church that I'm like, okay, I know that's a time sensitive issue that I can really, invest 2 hours in and just kind of dig in. So yeah, and I may look at my list of tasks on Excel and say, all right, let's move this guy up, let's move this one down, and here's what I'm going to do today, and I'll move this for another day. So that's kind of how I go about it.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. Now, here's what I'm tracking so far. So it sounds like you have two calendar systems, right? Or two kind of task management systems, I would say.
Yes,
So
sir.
so you have Outlook, which sounds like your workplace tool to manage the calendar, right? And whatever meetings and things pop up, it'll pop up on your Outlook. And then when
Yes,
it
sir.
comes to your own personal tasks, which may or may not be job related, you have it on Excel, right?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay. And if I heard you correctly, you were saying that when it comes to Excel, you have not replicated a calendar layout where it's like, okay, yeah, Monday, 5 o'clock this, 6 o'clock this, 7 o'clock this. Instead, it essentially lists in prioritized order what task or projects you want to accomplish. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Okay. Now, I want to break this down with you to kind of help expose some of the gaps and the reason why it may honestly sometimes feel a little like uncertain in terms of how productive a day is going to be. Can I ask you something real quick, Israel? Do you kind of
Yes, sir.
sometimes feel like your day becomes a bit of a roller coaster due to uncertainty?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, why did I ask that? The reason I asked that is because one, there's the uncertainty that comes from the outside, right? At work, you don't know what's going to happen. Life, you don't know what's going to happen. Things change. But then there's also the uncertainty that we create unknowingly. And so the reason why I asked you that question is because I wanted to show you, just from an outsider's point of view, that uh, under your current system, which as I'm hearing it, okay, the appointments, commitments that are work related, that's already in Outlook. And those blocks of time that is for those different job meetings, you try to uphold. But then outside of whatever that is, in between those times, that's when you will attempt to take on different tasks or projects based upon your Excel spreadsheet. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay. So, I would submit to you two primary challenges that if you can fix these two, I really think that you would have not only more progress, but also more peace of mind. Okay, so first is you've got to get under one centralized system. Right now, you're operating under two systems that are totally different. You're using Outlook for a work calendar, and then you're using Excel for task management. So, Excel, right, which is created to manage numbers, particularly, right? Uh, that's not calendar driven, as you stated. It's not, oh, okay, hey, Monday 10 a.m. I've got this going on. Tuesday 1 p.m. I've got this going on. It simply lists some of your different tasks. Now, the reason why I'm saying that this can become a bit of a challenge is because sometimes you might run into issues to where if you have your tasks and responsibilities scattered throughout multiple places, it makes it harder to keep up with. Have you ever felt that way?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So what I would like you to do, or at least consider doing, is creating one master calendar system. And this master calendar system could be on either Google Calendar. You can simply replicate your Outlook calendar onto Google. Google is very good about taking calendars from other places and then putting it on there. Um, or you could simply use the Outlook calendar that you have at work and populate it with other things, even if it's not work related. But the catch to that would be you're not making those calendar names, you're not making those tasks during those time blocks public. So anybody could see on your Outlook, this is what this is. And
Mhm.
I recommend on some level that you do a hybrid of both. So let me break this down, Israel. Okay, the first reason why I recommend you have your own master calendar is because I wouldn't want to advise you to rely only on your work calendar as being the only calendar that you have, especially if you don't have intentions of working at this job for the rest of your life, right? I wouldn't want you to build a system that you're not going to hold on to. I want you to build a system that you can maintain and manage regardless of what job that you work at. So, again, for me, where I would start with this is, I would start with uh, Google Calendar. The reason why I always advocate for Google Calendar is one, it is very easy to access. You can access it from your laptop, your phone, anywhere. But two, because of how well it integrates with so many things. So, for example, from your Google Calendar, you can send meeting invites to other people using it. You can add other calendar systems into your Google Calendar. A lot of times, you may have noticed this. Whenever you go on different websites and say you wanted to join a workshop or you wanted to join a seminar, you wanted to attend something, there's also a feature that'll help you. It'll automatically create a time block for you on Google Calendar. Now, why I recommend using Google Calendar also is because you can integrate Google Calendar with Motion AI. I would strongly advise you to check out Motion AI. Have you ever heard of it?
No, not at all, sir.
Okay, so I'm gonna just give them a free plug right now. I'm not sponsored by them, but it's something that I may need to reach out to them about. And I want to share this screen with you, just so that way you could really get the most benefit out of it. Because knowing you, I know that you have a lot going on, and I think that this could be very valuable to you. So, I'm on usemotion.com. And it says, get an unfair advantage by using AI to double productivity. It's rated the number one productivity platform in this AI era. Now, the reason why Motion is so powerful is because the AI takes your tasks and automatically populates it on a calendar uh, for you. So here's one of the things that's happening, and we're doing this in real time. So you'll see I'm scrolling down because I'm trying to find something that I think will be just valuable for you to see. So one of the things, and I just want you to track my logic on this, Israel, when you have your tasks on Excel, it does not accurately measure how long the task could take. You simply have listed what the task is. Am I correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So have you ever gone through a day where you wanted to do a task, but once you really kind of got into the thick of it, you said, man, you know what? I got started on it, but I wasn't able to finish. And I was kind of hoping that I would be able to finish this task today. Have you ever experienced that?
Oh yes, more times than I care to admit.
And so that's the reason why I think that this would really be the solution for you. The reason why I believe that this would be the solution for you is because you have a series of tasks that you're tracking, but your current system does not account for time. Right now, you have a priority based system. Hey, if I have 10 things that I need to do, which one should I do first, second, third, or fourth? But the problem is, what if thing one takes 20 hours to do? What if thing two takes 30 minutes? What if thing three takes 1 hour? The reason why, Motion AI is so powerful is because it kills two birds with one stone. It allows you to input all of the tasks into the tool, no different than you're already using Excel right now. But the difference is what Motion AI will do is it will automatically pull your calendar from Outlook It will already know what times you are available and unavailable per your calendar, and then it will insert time blocks for you to work on your most important tasks in between those work times. So just by having that functionality, you will save time automatically, manually thinking, hey, how can I fit this task into my day? Or even trying to manually sort which tasks will come first, second, or third. This AI is developed on such a level now to where when you input just basic details about the task, there's enough logic that the AI has so it knows how urgent your task is, and it's going to slot it accordingly. So for example, when you create a task in Motion AI, it's going to ask you, okay, hey, how would you rate this task? Is it a critical task? Is this an optional task? Does this task have a time sensitive deadline? It's going to
Mhm.
ask you enough questions for it to properly know when it needs to get done. And it's going to sift through all of the information for you and keep an updated calendar for you in real time. One of the things that's so great about Motion is, let's say that you're at work and you end up having to take on an unexpected meeting. You can't get out of it. You already had other personal tasks that you were planning on working on at that time. No problem. Instead of you manually now having to find another time to work on it throughout your day, Motion AI is going to do that automatically. The AI is already going to download instantly what calendar updates that you have, and is going to reschedule your most important tasks accordingly, so that you no longer think about what you need to do. You just look at the calendar and actually do it. The time that you're going to save alone, not having to manage your own schedule, that's going to free up a lot of your time right there.
Mhm. Yes, I'm actually taking a look at it as you're mentioning it to me, and I'm like, wow, this is huge. This is huge. There are so many times where I've thought, like, oh my gosh, I wish I was making a little bit more. Maybe I could hire a personal assistant or something to help me reslot these things. So no, this is a very valuable tool that I can 100% see myself using. And
Absolutely,
I thank
man.
you so much for sharing that.
Absolute, absolutely. Elder Yakin is in the comments right now, and he's saying motion is a game changer, less thinking and more productivity. And to your point, that's the beauty of us being able to come together on these sessions, because then this is when you can really get around like-minded men who could say, hey man, like, here's the secret hat on how to be able to get more done right now. You know what I mean? A lot of times we think, oh man, I just got to grind it harder, or like you said, I wish that I had more money so that way I could pay a personal assistant to do these things. But I think you and I both know, we're living in a digital age to where some of these different resources, it can do it faster
Mhm.
and with more intelligence than some of the information that we would give to someone else to figure out. And it would be cheaper. And so, this was the reason that I was saying a little bit earlier that we want to see what we can first automate before we delegate, right? Somebody might have paid hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to an assistant to take on this task that you could have done right now automatically through this AI. And that's not to say that we wouldn't still use an assistant. By the way, I do recommend, checking out different virtual assistant platforms. I recommend one website called fancyhands.com. They will allow you to pay per task and not like on a part-time wage. You might be thinking, oh, okay, if I'm going to hire a virtual assistant, I'm going to need to have somebody on a part-time schedule or a full-time schedule, and it might become more expensive that way. No, if you hire a virtual assistant effectively, you're only paying for task completion. So even if uh, doing a task might take them um, a lot of time, you are only paying them, one, if they can do the job, and two, for the task completion itself, not just the time. And
Mm,
so,
okay.
again, man, I got a lot that I want to talk with you about, but yeah, I think that if you just kind of chew on what I've shared with you today, I think that it can take you very far. I want you to really consider what I'm saying in terms of this master calendar system, and really kind of layering it into your outlook for work. Because one of the things that I think you probably should do is you probably should put protected blocks on your work calendar. So that way, if you need to do something important, you make sure that no one else takes up that time at work. A lot of times, especially in corporate settings, yeah, they want you in meetings, but they also understand that you have other commitments, that they're paying you to do more than just sit in meetings. So I think that we're going to need to strike a good balance between maybe you attending meetings that are scheduled for you by others, reactive, but then creating time blocks for other people to adhere to your protected time, proactive. And we'll
Mm.
talk more about that in future sessions. I'm really happy that you got on, man, because I know that I can help you a lot if you just get on these sessions, cam up, and I kind of walk you through some of the stuff. And we may be able to implement some of these things while we're on the call. So thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for having me and for all of this information. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Hey, uh, let me know how things move forward for you throughout the week. Like whenever you come to another session, let me know what progress you've been able to make, and I'd be more than happy to assist.
Absolutely. Will do. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, guys. So, did you see what happened there? You know, this wasn't about um, Israel not working hard enough. It was about him having the right systems in place. It really was about having the right boundaries. If he only has blocks of time on his calendar that's largely given by others at his job, it really keeps your week wide open. So Sister Esther asks, Motion app, is it good for keeping records of your personal bills? Yes, you can actually use Motion for different things. I also want to put this out there, and this is just kind of a backup, but I use this tool and I can definitely vouch for it. For some of you guys, if you don't, if, okay, first off, you need a task management system. As I was expressing with Israel, Excel, although you can use it to track information that you put into it, Excel is designed to crunch numbers. It's designed to analyze numbers. It's for budgets, calculations, formulas, that type of thing. Now, you could use Excel for more than that. However, when it comes to task management things, I like to use software that is specifically designed for task management. And for task management, I like to use Trello. That's Trello. If you don't use Motion AI, you can also check out Trello, because then you can kind of create your own lists. You can create your own system where you can have a bills column, you can have other columns, so you can kind of manage your own life, that much better. So thanks for asking that question, Esther. And hopefully, after giving some of these things a try, come back to another session and let me know what you figured out. Okay, so I'm gonna bring somebody else in right now. I'm bringing in Brother Yakid, and it's good to see you, man. Brother Yakin, are you there? You're on camera. Can you hear me? Hopefully, there's
Shalom, sir.
not.
Most High in Christ bless. There's a 5 second delay.
Okay. And I just want to make sure like YouTube is off in the background and all of that. Brother
Yeah, I
Yakin,
have
just
headphones, so my
oh,
bad.
okay. So a couple things. I know you're an IT guy, so if we could troubleshoot this a little bit, just for everyone's viewing experience, if you could just either restart your session into this, so that way hopefully it can get rid of the lag. Either that or try to listen without the
Okay.
headphones. I don't know if it'll change the time, but in either case, see if you can get out and get back in, so that way we can communicate to each other in real time. The people will be able to get more out of it. Okay, so I'm a drop and I'm gonna bring you back in. All right, so brother Joshua, I'm about to let you on. Brother Joshua, welcome. Can you hear me?
Yeah, shalom, brother. Most High in Christ bless.
Most High in Christ bless you. All right, if you wouldn't mind, can you please let the people know your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, Joshua Israel. I'm here in Austin, Texas.
Okay, perfect. All right, so in one sentence, what does it look like when other people's priorities take over your week?
Oh, I've I've been falling back from that for a few weeks now, so I can't say that I've been too pressured, but um, in the past, as I told you, it just made me feel like an underling.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So tell me, what are you hoping changes after this conversation? You know, today we're talking about your calendar is full, but nothing is changing. What are you looking to get away from this talk about this topic, so that way we could help to move things forward for you?
Maybe just a little relief. I remember the last time we had talked about not being able to secure a job that was valuable for me, and it things may be looking a little bit better for me. I think that tomorrow I have an interview for a customer service representative job, and uh, Lord's willing, I get it.
Hey man, that's great news. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, so let's talk about this. So today, since we're talking about your calendar, let's talk about your calendar and how we can use your calendar to help make sure you secure a position. So tomorrow, you've got this interview, and what other opportunities do you have lined up? Are you applying for any other positions? Are you hoping that this one goes through? Kind of where do you stand in terms of this opportunity?
Um, it should be a sure thing. I'm getting it through a company that I work with through a brother in the truth. So Lord's willing, I'm not failed.
Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. All right. So I think right now the main thing that is going to be important to do is to just develop your calendar, so that way, um, whether you're able to capitalize on this opportunity or not, you have a system in place to just stay on top of things. Do you currently have a calendar that you use? And if so, what tool is that?
Yeah, I use Google Calendar. It's a lot on there, but like I had told you, like I had day trading. I really need to get on that. I haven't been studying 2 hours a day on day trading. I have you on there. I have a couple of curricular activities, and then things with like diet, and that's really it. So it's not too full. It looks full, but it's not too full. Then I have like the high holy days and stuff on there. So
Okay, great. So in Google Calendar, you're able to delete things that you don't actually use. So just try to do some housekeeping on that Google Calendar to make sure that everything that's on there is relevant. Make sure that you follow what we went over today about adding a progress block in each day. Again, hey, excellent that there might be this opportunity that may open up for you, man. And I pray that that's the case. With that, make sure that on your calendar every day, you give yourself a block of time, whether it's 60 minutes or 90 minutes, which I prefer. Give yourself that amount of time just to work on your number one most important thing. If you get the job, hey, well, what's the next thing that you need to be working on? Put that in the progress block. Whatever is the number one thing that will help your life move forward the best, put that into that progress block and start following that progress block. Start following that calendar. If you end up getting the job, then obviously that's going to take up more of your time, but it's going to be necessary. You want to make sure that you already have the calendar in place and are using it with today's lesson in mind. So that way, when the job kicks in and you start working your work hours, you still know what times outside of your work at the job you'll be taking on the most important things that brings progress to your life.
All right, thanks, Elder.
Yes, sir. Hey, I'm happy to see you back on, man. I've been praying for you. And congratulations in advance. Come back and let me know how everything moved forward for you.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. All right, Yakeedin, I got you back on. How are we looking?
I think we're great.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we looking good now. Looks like the delay is gone. All right, guys, please make sure that y'all smash that like button. I want to make sure that you guys are getting as much value from these sessions as possible. Okay, when you smash the like button, it shares this with more men, just like the men that you see me talking to, because this is all very important. And I want you to know, Sir Yasharala, yes, the God 4513, he's always been good with me. Feel free to leave him maybe your email or something like that. I don't know if there's anything that you particularly feel comfortable with putting in the comments, but I'm gonna let you and the God 4513 work that out. Y'all are able to do y'all's thing, and I would hope that everything works out very well. He said, I'm going into trucking and would appreciate any advice. So that's one of the benefits of y'all being on the Men of Order sessions, because it really turns into a great networking opportunity. There's guys that are on here that might be in the industry that you want to work in. And just like how we heard with Brother Joshua, there might be certain connections that are available to make sure that you have a better chance at getting jobs, to make sure that you have more opportunities that are out there, man. This Men of Order community that we have is a beautiful thing. So make sure you smash that like button so that it tells YouTube to send more men here to build the network. All right, sir. So once again, welcome. If you wouldn't mind, please let the people know your name and where you're calling from.
Yes, so my name is Brother Yakeedin. I'm calling from, as of right now, Atlanta, Georgia, or Decatur, Georgia.
Very good. Shout out to Georgia. Georgia is in the house. In one sentence, Yakeedin, what does it look like when other people's priorities take over your week?
Hectic, very hectic. Yeah. It's because I'm wearing multiple hats within my company. I did have other contractors under me that I was able to dispose accounts to, but due to reliability and mishaps and things of that nature, I decided to cut that off and see to it hands-on and restart again. So now my time is more into just managing customer service, closing accounts, or doing walkthroughs for commercial accounts, because my goal is to get commercial accounts versus doing residential.
Absolutely. Okay, so you mentioned that when other people's priorities take over your week, it feels very hectic. So what are you hoping changes after this conversation?
Just insight on what can I do different. I have a goal in which I want to have implement it within my company. Like I want to have more contractors or reliable contractors, and also a closer or a customer service representative. And so, you know, the brother that was before me, he's saying that he has a potential job and customer rep, and all praises, because I'm looking for a customer rep. So if that doesn't go through, then I was going to ask, where's the brother located, because I'm willing to have him on my team and have him close accounts while I assist in doing the residentials or whatever the case may be. So my objective is to find people that are reliable within my company, so I can just continue to build upon that.
Okay, sounds good. So you said you're looking for people who are reliable so you can build upon that. And so tying that into today's session, it sounds like you need to dedicate time for recruitment. Sounds like you need to dedicate some time to uh, kind of finding the right people and onboarding them to your team, because it sounds like part of what's pulling away at your time right now is the fact that you don't have all of the necessary resources on the team. And so it's making more work for you. Is that accurate?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, great. So let's start here. What process do you have in place right now when it comes to talent management? How do you go about finding, the right person to onboard to your team?
Uh, at first, it was close market, people that I knew automatically, um, giving them a chance and things of that nature. I already had experience in cleaning before, so I trained them, and for a while they was doing good until I left California and came here, and so California started to flop a little bit. So I had to cut off California and just focus on Georgia, and so it's very difficult,
Okay.
to say the least.
Okay. So if I'm tracking, when you were in California, you were able to engage based upon the network that you had there a certain way, people that you knew, and you kind of developed a rhythm. Now you're in Georgia, and it feels like almost reinventing the wheel, because now you're trying to figure out, okay, well, where are these resources now going to come from? Is that about right?
Yes, sir, a little bit. I have thought about scouting at colleges and going to, right now I have set in my schedule to go to the Chamber of Commerce,
Mhm.
for different classes. One is for getting government contracts, and the other one is to do recruitment and looking for people and stuff like that. So
Okay.
um, that
If
is
if
the
I could
mission.
hop in on that. So let's say that you find the right person.
Mm.
Let's say that someone comes to you and it says, "Hey, Yakin, I'm very interested in this. I think that this could be a good fit." What how do you communicate with them from there?
Well, how I advertise my company to my contractors is our pay structure, their ability to set their own schedule, be their own boss. If they're reliable, their pay increases well amount than state minimum wages. I pay well over 25, $30, 35, 40 an hour. So as long as they're able to perform, we're able to provide what's necessary for them to keep going. Because how we set it up is where every account, the company is always growing. So as long as we're able to have an account and is end on good terms, there's no dispute or whatever the case may be. I had those before. Uh, the company keeps growing. I'm able to reinvest into more leads, things of that nature.
Got it. So, do they go through any interviews? And if so, how many?
They go through one interview, which is me personally, and then I send them a contract, and then I get their information. I do a background check, checker, see if everything is good on that side, and then proceed further to training them. And wherever they're at, if they don't have their own equipment, but they have their own vehicle, we're able to provide equipment. um, you know so it's like, we're literally looking for people. This is, whoever's going to work.
Absolutely. Okay. And last question. So after the interview is done, let's say that they're the right person for the job. How soon do they start?
uh, Probably that day, the next day. How our accounts come in is coming through a pipeline. So I have two pipelines. I have one with Thumbtack, one with Angie. And so they're random. They come at every hour of the day, the night, doesn't matter. And so as long as I'm able to close them, whatever date that they set, that's when they'll start.
Okay. All right. So here's what I'm gathering. So right now you have an idea of how you would engage with a resource. Excuse me. You have an idea of how you would engage with a resource once you found them. But prior to that, that's where the issue comes in, right?
Correct. I feel like there's, a little slackness when there's nobody monitoring them, right? So it's having that trust and that rapport to know that they're going to keep the standard that we have.
Understood. So we've been talking for a minute. All right. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to create an end-to-end system. You're going to create an A to Z system. In this A to Z system, here's what's going to happen. You're going to put together a business system that brings you from interacting with strangers to them being onboarded to your company step by step. We're going to make it a repeatable process. So for each step, we're going to have phases, right? So for example, recruitment. We're going to find out what the recruitment process is going to look like. And then we're going to have our interview process. We're going to have our onboarding process. And we need to make sure that we have all of the steps identified in every phase. So for example, we spoke a little bit about the recruitment phase. When it comes to the recruitment phase, what you're going to do is you're going to create an ideal ideal employee avatar. When you create this ideal employee avatar, what you're going to do is you're going to identify everything that makes the right person. Who is the right fit for the job? Now, the reason why I'm starting here is because what you mentioned before was typically you work with people that you knew, people in your network, people that you already kind of had like a personal relationship with, but not necessarily outsiders. And so now we want to treat it as though, hey, if we were actually engaging with strangers, if we were not just leaning on our personal network, what are we looking for? I want you to list all of the attributes. Okay, well, what are the character attributes that you need from this employee? What are the skill requirements? What is the availability that is needed? You really want to do a brain dump on who is the right person. Because what I wouldn't want to happen is I wouldn't want you to kind of look for the wrong people and then you end up getting a lot of churn. I think that it would be much better for you to step in, with a very clearly defined outline of exactly who is the type of person it is that you're looking for, and then go from there. Okay. So
Okay.
you're going to put that list down first. And again, why is this list so important? The reason why this list is so important is because this is going to work for you, whether it's somebody in your network or not. This is going to give you protection. See, whenever it was just someone in your network, you would have like an informal way to engage with them. But we want to be able to grow the business by creating repeatable processes. So within the recruitment phase, before we go out and look for anybody, we want to make sure we're attracting the right person to us, right? So we want to think more in terms of really being a magnet rather than hunting. We don't want to necessarily go out and hunt for any person. We want to create the right magnet that will draw the right person to us, because really, whenever you identify like who the right customer is, I keep saying customer, whenever you identify the right employee, from there, that's already going to tell you where you're going to find them, right? Because even if it's not in person where you're going to look for an employee, you can do marketing, right? I mean, even if you were to get on things like LinkedIn, Indeed, and there's several other websites, you will already have a very clear statement that brings in the right people and turns the wrong people away, right? The reason why this is so critical, Yakiden, is because you mentioned a little bit earlier that one of the biggest constraints that you have right now is with your time, right? So you can't afford to waste time looking for the people in the wrong place. So you really need a strong recruitment process that already makes it known up front who the right employee is, where you can find them, how you can market to them. And then once you're dealing with a prospective employee, they can review the outline that you've already put in place. And if that's a good fit, now we can move into the interview, because we need to have a good screening system in place. Your time is very valuable. You can't waste a lot of time. You want to make sure that even when it comes to the people that you're interviewing, it's not just taking a shot in the dark, but rather, okay, you kind of got an idea that this person could be the good fit. And now the interview process is really just you verifying that. How does that sound?
Absolutely does. That sounds more like you said, ordered, structured. Because I would just, walk up to people while I'm out and about. I tried to look at Indeed. I have used Indeed before. And their screening process, it's okay, but it's still not consistent or conducive for the amount that they charge. And
Mhm.
so we kind of actually just parted ways with them. So I've been doing it actually just face to face and just getting a feel from the person of the initial contact. So I'm definitely going to have a list and look at this more in detail and see how I can actually figure out a way to market to the people that I'm actually looking to have. And I
Correct.
did like what you said as far as be a magnet and not a hunter, because as a closer, you have to be a hunter, right? And so, um, in regards to this, it's like the opposite. So
Correct.
definitely got to look into that.
Correct. Because otherwise you'll end up just churning through a lot of people that way if you're still hunting. This, it might take a little bit more time and energy up front, but it'll be a lot more rewarding because you end up finding a better quality of people on the back end to do the job effectively. Now, when it comes to this system that I'm referring to, this A to Z system, and we talked about recruitment, interviewing, and onboarding, really what I want you to do is I want you to really follow this system religiously. And what I mean by that is you're going to create a process to where you're going to start building up this system from scratch. And then over time, what's going to happen is you're going to go through each phase and really identify, where is the biggest gap. So right now, from what I heard, right now, the biggest gap is in recruitment, finding the right people and reaching out, getting them interviewed.
Right.
But the reason why we want to go through this system is because there will end up being a breakdown somewhere, even when you do find, candidates, right? So, okay, maybe you started to reach out to people, and some people you start interviewing, and then you say, you know what, maybe it's something about our interview process that we could improve. That's where you need to spend time. Or, hey, you know what, here we are, we've got the right person onboarded, but we cannot, we got the right person hired, we got the right person that we interviewed, but we cannot get them onboarded fast enough. That's all a part of it as well. You know what I mean? So you just want to create this system, and you want to start putting metrics around all of these different phases. Um, you want to start giving yourself like different metrics on how you're performing when it comes to finding uh, candidates. You want to see, okay, for every X amount of people that we interview, how many people actually get hired, right? Because
Okay.
if you have to interview 1,000 people before you can hire one, maybe that might speak to some work that you have to do back on the recruiting end. You see what I'm saying? Have the
Right.
system, create the phases, and then establish metrics in these area. And then wherever you see the disconnect through these phases, as you continue to build the system up, put more effort there, because that will end up building up a smoother process to getting the right people into your company, which will in
Okay.
turn buy back some of your time.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
I hope that was of
Absolutely.
value to you, sir.
Absolutely. I literally typed everything down on Notepad right now. So absolutely about to go through this and get this in order, because this is like not the end goal. My end goal is something else. And so
Absolutely. It's just a
uh,
step, just an important
abs-
step. All right. Well,
absolutely.
I'm glad that you got value from this, sir. And it's been a pleasure, man, having you on this
Thank you, sir.
session. I look forward to seeing you on future sessions. And it'd be a pleasure to continue help build this thing up.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate your counsel and your advice. I'm definitely going to take heed to this and apply it. And I appreciate your efforts and your counsel. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, my brother. All right, guys. So did you see what happened there? Guys, I want you to notice a pattern. A lot of these guys are hardworking. A lot of these guys are very smart, but it's the systems that are missing. And sometimes you can have a system, but it really might not be the right system that you need. You know what I mean? Like some of you guys, okay, you might have to cut down a tree, but you got a hammer. All right, well, the hammer is not really ideal for cutting a tree down, but you might have an axe. Yeah, you're making progress, but we're in a day and age where you could have a chainsaw. You see what I'm saying? It's less about your work ethic, and it's more about the systems that you are using your effort towards. Men of Order is about giving you guys the right systems for you to implement so that you're not just working for work's sake. Okay. We can only work but so much. The people that are rich in this world, they got the same 24 hours as us. So it's not about, okay, well, what's how hard are we working within these hours? it's really about how are we getting the most from our time. You will get more from your time by having the right systems. And in Yaquin's case, it was the system of having A to Z system to ensure that he's able to successfully find quality talent, interview quality talent, and then onboard quality talent into his company. And if he doesn't have that system in place, what's going to happen is he's going to end up losing a lot of time, because he's going to end up having to do the jobs of people that he has not been able to hire into his company. A lot of times we end up getting ourselves in trouble because we think, okay, work, 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 work. That's how I'm going to make progress. But the reason why you have to work so hard and still can't get ahead is because you never took the time to create the system. If you were more systems oriented, it would actually not require you to have to work as hard. You could get a lot more out of your day with the work that you do by having the right systems in place. So, guys, let's close this out with your report. Okay, here is the 7-day assignment. On Men of Order, we're not just about talk, we are about action. You got to implement this stuff. That's how it works. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to put one progress block on your calendar. Okay. I want you to do that for each day over the next 7 days. For 7 days, put one progress block on your calendar. And I want you to build a hard line around it. I want you to do a 5-minute night setup before the next day starts. That's it. Okay. 5-minute night setup. That's you planning tonight for tomorrow. You don't have to make it fancy. You don't have to overthink it. You don't have to wait for the perfect week. Just guard one block a day for the next 7 days. And I want receipts. Here's what I want as your receipt, guys, to show that you put this into practice. I want you to come back to this video and I want you to comment about what time block that you guarded. As you go through these time blocks this week, I want you to put what block you guarded, what tried to steal your protected time, whether you kept the protected time or whether you lost it, and what moved in your life because of it. Guys, if you do what I'm telling you today, you should be able to see very important progress. This should take you away from, my calendar is so full. Oh my God, I'm so busy. I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off. I'm this guy. We're going to start taking things off of this guy's calendar and we're going to start adding in progress. So I want you guys to come back to me with proof that you went through this exercise, not ideas, not intentions, proof. Tell me what changed. Tell me what you finished now that you have protected time to make progress. Okay. Also, I want you to tell me what got lighter in your day. What stress kind of removed itself within this process. Remember the conversation I was having a little bit earlier with Uzziah? I said, hey, Uzziah, do you ever notice that your day might feel like a bit of a roller coaster? I knew that based upon the systems that he was using to time manage. When you start implementing the right systems, you might find that it actually lightens your load in different ways and makes things less stressful for you. So you don't have to do as much thinking. Okay. I had mentioned Motion AI that can do a lot of the thinking for him. One thing that I also want y'all to do, share this video with a brother whose week is always full, but whose life is not moving forward. Look at what Uzziah said. Yes, specifically the roller coaster from Final Destination 3. We're going to get you off that roller coaster, my brother, all right? You just stay on these sessions. I got you. So, guys, I want you to always remember this, okay? A disciplined leader is someone people can count on. But I need you to hear me clearly. If you are always busy, but never moving your own life forward, the people depending on you do not get your best. They only get what's left. Guys, your future gets what's left. If you're always busy, but you're never moving your own life forward productively, you're not becoming the best version of yourself. Guys, this has to stop. This week, I want you to lead your life first, and then you can lead everybody else better, okay? It's important that we keep this in mind, guys. Having a guarded week is not you being selfish. It's leadership. It's you as a man saying, my life will not be run by noise. And that kind of man is a gift to his family and not a burden to them. So here's my question to you guys before you leave. What block of time are you going to guard this week? I want you to put it in the comments. How are you going to take a block of time this week and guard it with your life? Okay. Our next session is going to be Tuesday, March the 10th at 8 p.m. Central Time. I want y'all to come back on that session with proof. I want y'all to come back with receipts. I want you to come back and be able to say to me, hey, Uzziah, I took part of my week back. And if you want to support this work so that I can keep doing these lives, please send a super chat before you go. Before you end and get off this session, please send a super chat. And I want to thank all of those who supported the work for today's session. Y'all know, even with my voice being a little bit hoarse, I'm still out here. Shout out to Sir Yasharala for the $10 super chat. Shout out to Brother Frederick for the $10 super chat. Shout out to Sister Atara for the $20 super chat. You and a Diamond Ya are the sponsors for tonight's session. Guys, please support this platform so that way I can continue to help as many people as possible. In fact, I saw that there was a question that was had from Brother Aaron. I don't know, Brother Aaron, if you're still on. Y'all keep putting y'all's questions out there. I want to make sure that I'm able to help as many of y'all as possible. I see you. Frederick, you say, great session as always. I appreciate your consistency, sir. I appreciate your support. Thank you for helping to make this platform possible. NG says, Wednesday night from 8 to 10 p.m. blocked. Hey, shout out to the House of Brother Judah. Thank you so much, Sister Esther, for the $20 super chat. And my brother Uzziah Stingy NG, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. All right, so we got a four-way tie right now on a sponsorship. The sponsors for tonight's session are A Diamond Ya, Sister Atara, Brother Uzziah, Ambassador Uzziah, as we call him in the church, as well as Sister Esther, all at $20. All right, if anybody is going to break this four-way tie, just know it's going to have to be over $20 because we got four different sponsors all at that $20 level. Definitely appreciate you all. Whoa, it has been broken in a major way. Shout out to TSOC Ambassador Benaiah with the $100 super chat. Thank you so much, my brother. I really appreciate that, man. I hope that you got a lot of value from tonight's session. I'm definitely looking forward to speaking with you further, man, so we can press some things forward. You know, my brother Benaiah, he got some great things lined up. I ain't gonna tell his business, but he got some great things lined up. And I've been talking to this man over the past year, about really pushing a lot of his future endeavors forward. And man, I would be really honored to support you in that way, my brother. So thank you so much. Really means a lot. All praise to the Most High. Shout out for that $100 super chat. And I see you too, the God 4513. Ambassador Benaiah, he took this one on a sponsorship, but I do see that you were holding us down with breaking the sponsorship at that $20 level with that $35 super chat. Really appreciate you. And I am hoping that you and Sir Yasharala are able to connect. Just in case you're not able to reach him, please let me know, to God 4513, so that way I can link y'all up and make sure that y'all are able to connect. A Diamond Yah says, I just got off of work. I heard your advice and thank you very much. I hope you feel better soon. I was going to be brave per your request to be a woman of order on your live, but too late now. Let me know if you ever let a woman on again. Oh, I most certainly will. Half of the sessions I open it for everybody. So I definitely will be opening up another session very soon, if not this Tuesday. You said, let me know if I open up another one. Hope everyone in the chat takes good care and have a great Sunday. Have protected blocks in your week. Absolutely. All right, guys. So y'all know what time it is. Come back with proof. Come back with receipts. Shout out to TSOC, Ambassador Benaiah, the official sponsor for today's session. Guys, if you watch this video and you still want to support the platform to keep this thing going, even after the live stream is over, you can do so by clicking the thanks button under the video on YouTube. You're still able to donate there. It is much appreciated and very, very helpful towards pushing this platform forward. I don't know if y'all see it, but we've been adding some new things to the session, and hopefully we'll keep adding some things in the session, guys. All right. So if you haven't yet done so, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on Tuesday night's stream. And if you're done giving your best hours away, smash that like button before you leave, okay? If you are on a mission to protect your time and apply everything that I went over in today's session, make sure that you smash that like button if you haven't done so already, all right? Until next time, walk in order, brothers. Peace.